Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and insert extraneous material on H.R. 2189.
Without objection.
I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support of H.R. 2189, the Law Enforcement Innovate to De-Escalate Act. This bill will put life-saving, less lethal technology in the hands of more law enforcement and public safety officers. When the Gun Control Act of 1968 was enacted more than 50 years ago, it was not written with the intent to regulate less lethal projectile devices such as tasers. Unfortunately, if a taser or other device uses an explosive propellant to discharge the projectile, the ATF classifies it as a firearm. This makes it more difficult for law enforcement and public safety officers to obtain and use these devices. For starters, many states prohibit public safety officers from using firearms. In at least 12 states, correctional officers are unable to carry firearms in the course of their official duties. Many state laws also prohibit or restrict the use of firearms in schools, hospitals, and meaning security officers would be unable to purchase these devices if they're needed. For police departments, law enforcement officers can be unfairly subjected to higher levels of liability exposure for discharging a quote-unquote firearm than a less lethal device. This includes my own state of Wisconsin, which includes in its definition of deadly force the discharge of a firearm. Mr. Speaker, that is why the Law Enforcement Innovate to De-Escalate Act is both necessary and important. H.R. 2189 makes a small but important change to the Gun Control Act's definition of a firearm to appropriately define the less lethal projectile device. It does so by instituting a 5-part test, ensuring only devices that are truly less lethal will pass ATF scrutiny. It also exempts these devices from the firearm excise tax. The simple logic being that police departments and manufacturers should no longer be paying a firearm tax on a device that no longer is classified as a firearm. It was never intended to apply to them in the first place, and it should not apply to them now. By making these simple changes, we are equipping our law enforcement and public safety officers with the best tools to keep our communities safe and our first responders out of harm's way. Innovation should be rewarded, not stifled, and this bill does just that. I want to thank my colleagues, Congressman Correa, Congressman Schweikert, Congressman Stanton, all the others that have been supportive of this for their leadership on this issue over the last 2 Congresses. Thank you, and I reserve the balance of my time.